fucking your bitches. Sex, drugs, money, and murder. 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 Niggas, they never gon' hurt you. Niggas, they never will hurt you. Sex, drugs, money, and murder. Sex, drugs, money, and murder. I was how the traps right. Understand how to get that. Ran down on them niggas with a flip back. Knew I never.
Like a guiding boy through life's songs and common joy we employ. Turn into the whispers where wisdom lies, and the echoes of love our spirits rise. Let every tale inspire your heart anew with rhythms of courage. Find your true view. Find a new day. Here in our space, love find its voice. Laughter echoes through every choice. Our stories weave into life's grand design. With each whisper and our hearts align. So come take a seat, let the rhythm flow. Feel the warmth and wind and let your soul blow. The dance of life will sway and sway. With chill and love we find our way. Feel with my love, let me lead you home. Which is sacred space, you never walk alone.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I guess I'm collaborating tonight. What's up, Gotti?
Salute to everybody. Salute to everybody. Welcome to the show. This is tonight we'll be talking about the prisoner escape. I was going to do a video, but I told Chillin' with Love we should do this story together because this is a real crazy story. You know, I'm familiar with the story about the Hardy Boys and Len Davis, but I wasn't familiar with this new case. Well, I was kind of familiar because I was following the news on it with the escapees, but this is going to be an interesting show. I want to thank Chillin' with Love for the cross branding. And before we get into the content, I just want to play the disclaimer.
The following documentary contains allegations in investigative journalism based on publicly available information. All claims that involve illegal activity are alleged, and viewers are advised to form their own opinions.
Yeah. So this is going to be a good episode with me and Chilling with Love. I appreciate her for letting us do this cross branding episode. We haven't did one of these in a long time, but I said, you know what? Tonight let's do something different. Let's do a live stream. I haven't did a live stream in a minute, so we are semi-pro broadcast on Chilling with Love, Cali with Love, and we on the Bullets Gotti Show 2.0. So make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Make sure y'all like her channel and like mine. Subscribe to her platform and subscribe to mine's, the Bullets Gotti Show 2.0 and Cali with Love. So, Love, if you're ready to play the content, you can play it.
What I want to talk about today is as far as why I was in Orleans Parish Jail. I was in custody for almost 8 months. All right, 6 months, something like that. I was in there for theft of a motor vehicle and domestic abuse involving strangulation. That's what I was in Orleans Parish for. Okay, but before I was in Orleans Parish, I was in a jail called St. Tammany Detention Center. All right, St. Tammany Jail here in St. Tammany Parish. There's two different parishes, Orleans and St. Tammany. Okay, today what I want to talk about is that I was on second-degree kidnapping, second-degree rape, domestic abuse, battery involving strangulation, domestic abuse, battery, violation of protective order, right? On this woman right here, her name is Diamond White. That's her name. This is a district attorney drop form right here. And she's not a child. She's an adult, a full adult. I was dating this woman. This is a legalized affidavit saying all allegations against me is false. You remember, all allegations against me is false. I was nowhere around her or none of that during the timing of the date, which was November the 10th of 2024. Okay, so I was in St. Tammany, right? And I was on a regular domestic charge, right? So they put a parole hold on me because I was on a domestic charge. So that being said, is that once that occurred, and the charges was refused or whatever, they shipped me to Orleans Parish where I had more open charges, was the theft of a motor vehicle and the domestic abuse, battery involving strangulation. So once I got in Orleans Parish Jail, all right, I have from the district attorney's office, this woman who they say that I initially raped in another parish and in Orleans Parish, is the same woman here. It's not different females, it's the same grown woman, not a child, a grown woman. Okay, she did the same thing in Orleans Parish, right? Correct. I'm about to show you how the system is corrupted. Okay, she did this, right? Saying all allegations against me is false. And she even saying it, you know, she let them know the truth, that I never did this to her. I never hit her. I was nowhere around her, nothing. She got mad and thought that I was dealing with another woman. That's why she did what she did to me. You know what I'm saying? Another thing too, once I got into Orleans Parish, I was there for like a month or something like that. Okay, a lot went on as that time progressed. Okay, if you was an innocent person and you know the judges and DA know that this person is saying that all the charges that you're on that you did not do, why was you still in jail? Louisiana have the highest incarceration rate in the world for putting black people away. Yes, at the end of the day, in my younger life, I'm not gonna lie, I was causing problems. I was young. My daddy got killed when I was 7 years old. My mom had to raise 4 children by herself, so I had to find a way to try to help my mother. You feel what I'm saying? But as time went on, the person that I once was, I'm not that person today. That is not who I am. I have a 3-year-old son. I have an 18-year-old daughter that graduated yesterday, supposed to be. At the end of the day, that people don't understand that they see that I'm armed and dangerous. I have a heart. People that know me know that at the end of the day, I am a good person. So I'm asking for help from the world, from Meek Mills, Lil Wayne, Young Boy, Donald Trump. I'm asking for these people. I couldn't even get a lawyer. I couldn't even afford a lawyer to prove my innocence while I was in Orleans Parish Jail. They said that I broke out. I didn't break out. I was let out. My name is Antoine Massey. The guy who said that I threatened him with a shank, the maintenance guy, how could I threaten you with a shank? If you can't come around me, you're a maintenance. You cannot come on the tills without a deputy being behind you, because if they just let you on the till, you could be persuaded to bring drugs or anything like that in that nature. So how can I threaten you to jail you? And why you didn't notify the people, the police, that if I did threaten you, you never did that? Like, you flat out lied on me. Sterling flat out lied on me. And I want to let the media know that from the straight tattoos in my face and things of that nature, of course they're going to believe Sterling. You know what I'm saying? I never told Sterling nothing. I'm willing to take a lie detector test and everything behind that. But that's another subject. Orleans Parish is one of the corruptedest jails. That in St. Tammany Parish is the corruptedest jails in the state of Louisiana. Why was I even incarcerated? A woman said that this never happened. This is this woman's name. This is the charge, domestic abuse violation. This is about the shit in St. Tammany. Why was I in Orleans Parish? Why was I even in jail? That's what I'm trying to show y'all. That's why I left the jail. And they have a lot more brothers that's innocent, just like me, that's trying to prove their innocence. That's why they ran. Jason Williams, the sheriff, Susan Hudson, these people are corrupted. These people was talking to St. Tammany and telling St. Tammany they gonna sentence me behind this, and telling St. Tammany if they can't get me, St. Tammany gonna get me. You see what I'm saying? Behind a woman that's a grown adult that never stated that I ever raped her. They have a detective that's over the case, that's trying to pursue charges on me because of my prior history. Who I was in the past is not who I am today. So I'm asking for the media. I don't even have a lawyer to help me. I'm asking for help. That's why I ran. You feel me? I'm a grown man, man. I have kids. I have a mother. I have a baby mother, a child, my children mother. Like it's a lot going on. And that's why I ran. I need help. You feel what I'm saying? Orleans Parish in St. Tammany is one of the corruptest parishes in the world. And I'm asking for help. It's a lot of corruption. It's jiggins, all type of stuff going on, and they covering it up. They don't care about nothing in the state of Louisiana. This is something that needs to go under a federal investigation. What's going on? How they handling cases? Why Antoine Massey was in jail if the woman, the victim, the grown woman, not a child, the grown woman stated that he never raped her. He never beat her. He was nowhere in her presence. This is the affidavits on the date right here. This is the drop form from the district attorney office. This woman when did this. I didn't do this. Look, it's legally dignity. So I'm asking, please, for help. Young Boy, Meek Mills, people, LBL, you know what I'm saying? People that been through the system that know it's corrupt. Lil Wayne, Donald Trump. Please, I'm asking for help. You know what I'm saying? When I get back in custody, I'm asking y'all, please, to come help. You feel what I'm saying? I'm asking the world. I'm letting y'all know I'm not a raper, man. I'm not none of that. None of that. I'm a good person. I am a father that want to be in my children's life. You know what I'm saying? I want to let the younger youth know that going down the route of trying to be a street person is not the route. That's what type of person I am. Yes, I was lied on. They made Sterling lie on me. All the guys they picked me for him to lie on. I'm not saying Sterling a bad guy, but why did you pick me to lie on, bro? It's bigger than Sterling. I don't know why they picked me for him to lie on, but I never threatened Sterling ever. How could I threaten Sterling or hurt Sterling? He cannot come on a tip with me without a deputy being present. My name is Antoine Massey. I'm asking for help. I was one of the ones that was let out Orleans Parish Jail on May the 16th or May the 15th, 2025. So please, Meek Mills, Donald Trump, Lil Wayne, please help me. Lil Wayne, this is Big Antoine's son that's talking right now. I'm Lil Antoine. I was in your mama wedding when she married Rabbit. I was the ring boy, Lil Wayne. Please help me, bro.
So that's a crazy situation. Watching the video, seeing what's going on. So this situation happened, I believe it was May or April. They escaped from the prison in Louisiana, right? It was 10 of them that escaped from the prison. They arrested a janitor, they arrested a grandmother, a mother, a dude girlfriend, two females was the first ones they arrested, and then they arrested the janitor right after. Looking at the situation in this case is basically I don't know what to say. You know what I'm saying? Because I could see where he coming from. You know, if he was lied on and they framed him and they set him up and he was supposed to be released, then that's kind of messed up to try to blame the man and try to put him in there. But if he's lying, then that's crazy. But knowing about Louisiana prison and just knowing about that state, it's a very corrupt state. I got roots, you know, a lot of my family is from Louisiana. My great grandmother is from Louisiana. So I know a lot about that state. It's a real racist state. A lot of the stuff that goes on down there, you could see with C Murder, you know, you could see with Mac, you could see with Mystical, you can see even with Boosie, you know, they just lock you up just cause down there. The prison. I've watched the story where they talked about Angola prison. There's a whole documentary. You go look it up. It's called Time, where it's about this couple called I think Fox and Robin. Yeah, that's the name. And basically, the dude and his woman got arrested. She did 19 years. Her husband did 21. His nephew was still in there. It was Academy nominated award winning movie. It should have gotten an award for documentary. And it talks about the corruption in Louisiana and in the prisons. So by hearing the stories, by seeing documentaries, by seeing men getting basically freed, you don't know what type of thing is going on there. The mistreatment, you don't know what's going on. You know? But looking at this case, it's something deeper than what people trying to make it seem. You know, they got the all 8 of them they caught. It's only 2 that wasn't caught, which is Antoine Massey and the young man Derrick Groves. Now, Derrick Groves, his case is kind of different than Antoine Massey. He did a murder, but his story is really what you call a knee jerker. It's really a cycle repeating, which basically his mother was killed by a gang called the Hardy Boys down there in Louisiana and New Orleans, right? On the order of a corrupt cop named Len Davis. This is the same cop that Joe Biden had pardoned, commuted his sentence. He didn't pardon him, he commuted his sentence like Trump did with Larry Hoover. He did the same thing with Len Davis. Len Davis was on death row, right? In federal prison. He's been there since 1995, 94. I remember watching his story back on, hold on, Channel 11, clicked off. Yeah, I remember watching his story back on FBI Files back in like the 2000s. About the Hardy Boys and him being a corrupt cop, him being down with them, and how they was murdering, and she was a witness of a murder, and she was set to testify on the gang. And basically what happened was the lady got murdered. She had kids, in which this young man, Derrick Groves, his mother was her daughter. And he ended up, like I said, cycle repeats. His grandmother got murdered. He went and become a murderer. He's on the run right now. This is a crazy story, man. If they ever did a movie on these two young men, this would be a very interesting movie. Chillin' with Love, show that clip with Derrick Groves. We got like 2 clips. I want people to see this young man's story. Shout out to my brother Black Afghanistan in the building. I see you, family. Salute. You already know what it is.
27-year-old Derrick Groves is one of the 5 escaped inmates, and he's still at large tonight. It is forcing witnesses into hiding. Ironically, he has a deep connection to one of the most notorious killings in New Orleans history. His grandmother was executed on order of corrupt cop Len Davis.
Today, investigative reporter Mike Pearlstein spoke exclusively to a neighbor who knew Derrick since he was a little kid.
Oh, I remember him from a baby.
Gail Slack helped raise Derrick Groves on Alamo Street in the lower Ninth Ward.
He was friends with my son. He taught my son how to ride a bike.
Slack said she was shocked when several years ago, Groves was accused in 4 killings, leading to convictions on 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of manslaughter. Now she's growing more concerned by the day as Groves remains the subject of a massive manhunt following last week's jailbreak of 10 inmates from the Orleans Justice Center. Groves is one of 5 escapees still on the run.
I just hope that if they catch him, they don't hurt him.
She said Derrick came across to her as a normal kid, despite his grandmother being killed by a hitman on the orders of New Orleans police officer Len Davis. Derrick Groves was not yet born when his grandmother Kim was gunned down right here in front of the family home. But he remembers the site well, including times when it was used as a memorial in honor of his grandmother.
A small child like that hearing how his grandmother was killed by the police, okay? Yeah, it had a big factor. But he's still my Derrick. He's still my baby. I like raised him. He's a lot of people just see the bad side of it.
If you could just give a message to him right now, what would you tell him?
Be safe and turn yourself in.
Mike Pearlstein, WWL.
So that story right there is Derrick Groves. Like I said, his mother was killed by a cop named Len Davis, right? And to just hear that story, right? To see somebody that's traumatized like that grandmother was murdered. He eventually, like they say, you become products of your environment. He became a product of his environment. Instead of him straying the other way, he went the way that led to his grandmother's death, which is sad. Now he's on the run, him and Massey. But I want Chillin' with Love. How you feel about this story so far, since you've seen the 2 videos, Love? Chillin' with Love, you there? Love, you there? I don't know if there's something wrong with her mic. But yeah, just to see these 2 cases is just crazy. Anybody that could go through what, the lose a grandparent, and then you ended up just going the wrong route it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't have a chance. He really didn't have a chance. And I really don't believe that he's going to be the one that I think that's not going to make it. He's going to be like a Richard Mack. Somebody's going to end up taking him out. But you know, in this case, like I look at the Clinton Denimora escape when Richard Matt and David Sweat had escaped, and basically, you know, when they escaped from the prison, you know, Richard Matt got killed. David Sweat, he was able to stay in the woods, but then he went out the woods, and that's how he got caught. And then, you know, it was another case in Elizabeth, New Jersey, where the two dudes escaped out the prison. They caught the Spanish dude, and then the black dude, they later on caught him later in Mexico. You know, so in this case right here, they've been going a long time, and if they keep moving the way they moving, they probably can get somewhere. They probably done cut their head, disguised themselves, whatever they did, and they probably laying low. Who knows? You know, but they've been on the run for a while now. You know, and like I said, I think those two already had their mind made up because they the only two that didn't get caught. You know, everybody else got caught. The other two, the other eight got caught. You know, one got caught in a couple of them got caught in Louisiana, two got caught in Texas. So everybody got caught. But love, you did? I don't know if your mic is acting up. Oh yeah, yo, King Gun Hill, salute family. I wanted to hear with love. Love, you did?
Yeah, what's up?
No, I wanted to ask, you know, have your opinion videos would say about the thing, because the situation, you know, to see that the other young man, his grandmother was murdered, and then the other guy, he's saying that he was basically framed and he was supposed to be released the day of the escape. How would you what you have to say about that, love? Oh, word hit
If
me.
he
That's crazy.
if
I'm
he
listening.
escaped, if he
No love, you got it. I'm on mute.
if he escaped and he's saying that he was there and it's corruption going on, he knows better than we do. So I believe him, and he's asking for help, for somebody to help him. If you were if I was in prison and I'm not supposed to be there, of course I'm going to escape if I have the chance to. So hopefully he gets the help that he needs before they catch him.
Well, you know, they've been on, but like I said, love, they've been on the run for like I think since April or maybe May. They've been on the run and nobody has caught them so far. They've been basically, you know, surviving, the both of them. And then, you know, to have one dude go live. We haven't seen the other guy go live or anything, but we seen one of them go live. So just by watching the video of the guy going live, and they said he did a video during I think during Memorial Day, Massey, where he said he hasn't been in the pool since 2012. So it's like they've been on the loose since then. So from May to now, because I think it started at late April. They escaped the prison, or maybe like the beginning of May. But I know it's been around May, April, around that time. So for them to still be escaped, salute, bang, 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 BX and hit me. Oh, that's crazy. I didn't even know that. But yeah, for them to be on the loose this long, I think they both had a plan to escape. I think the other guys was just like, okay, we want to escape with them, and I think they didn't really have a plan. That's why they got caught, because like 8 of the other guys got caught, and those two is still on the run. They haven't got caught yet, so that means they had everything planned out. They had they escape route. They had people waiting, helping them out. They had a whole lot of things. Do you agree?
I thought they already caught the people who helped them out.
No, they caught the people that, or they caught a few of them that, two that helped them out, but the rest of the other people, no, they didn't catch the people that helped those two out because they
Oh,
caught on.
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't want to. I don't know nothing about this.
Yeah, yeah, but no, but the cases is interesting. Yeah, they should do a documentary. I'm gonna be honest with you, Zay, Mula. They should do a documentary on the Hardy Boys and these two guys, cause this case right here, cause it's connected. With the young man, he escaped out of prison. It's connected with him and his grandmother. So this is really a interesting story because this is like a. I'm gonna keep it real. This should be like a FX miniseries or a HBO miniseries because for them to still be on the run this long and not to get caught and was able to do a whole video and he's pleading for Lil Wayne, Donald Trump, NBA YoungBoy. Yeah, they had it planned out. It's like Claude and Ray in life. You know, y'all seen life. It's like Claude and Ray. You know, but I just think this is a crazy. I just think, me personally, I think this is a crazy case. I think this case right here is really interesting, but it has a lot to do with corruption. It has a lot to do with how the prison system is in Louisiana. Because if you really, it's just like even with the Karen Reed case that I did a video on. Y'all go check that out. If y'all haven't watched that video, go check that video out on my channel. I just did that the other day, where basically, these people is don't know what happened to this guy. The guy is in the cold, hypodermia, which I believe he died from. And like they said, the dog bit him. So the dog may have bit the man, after he got beaten up in the club. So in the house. So to get beaten up in the house and then come on, man. These cases just shows you the corruption and what's going on. So it's just like even with the Gioni case, I really don't believe that he did that. I believe he's being framed, but we have to realize that this is what they do. Everything is smoke and mirrors and deception. So we know what's going on. So this case is really interesting. Like I far they haven't catch dude. They haven't did anything with him. So I don't even believe that they even gonna get the authorities. Because if you look, like I said, if you look at this case and you just look at the whole play by play, like even not only this case, but the one with in the jail in Arkansas with the chief, the ex-chief in Arkansas. This guy escapes the prison, right? They can't find him either. He's another one they can't find. They can't find Massey and Groves, and they can't find the chief over there in Arkansas. They can't find both of them. The reason why they can't find all three of them is because they was thoughtful, planned out escapes. Now with the chief, his was more planned out because you have to look. He probably hired a lot of those guys that worked in the prison. A lot of them is his friends, and they open up the lane to get him to escape out the prison. Cause he didn't beat down nobody, he ain't choke nobody out. Somebody helped him in that prison to get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? So this is what they do, man. They not gonna find these dudes, man. Like I said, when you got a thoughtful plan out of escaping out of a prison, yeah, it's gonna be hard to find you, man. I used to watch America's Most Wanted. My uncle was on America's Most Wanted, so and he escaped. He escaped from authorities from 93, and they got him in 2010. He was out in California, so when you escape, you just gotta have an escape plan. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep on the move. That means you gotta have new identities, fake IDs, everything. That's how you gotta do it. But it's crazy. It's crazy. Love, how you feel about I wanted to ask you, how you feel about the Diddy case?
A what?
The Diddy case.
This is not Diddy stuff.
Yeah, but we can still talk. I just wanted to ask you about it.
Yeah, it don't go together. Your channel's a serious channel. My channel's a troll channel. Um, I'm not interested in these people.
In the search for the last two missing inmates, families of those already apprehended say they're finally getting the chance to speak with the escapees. But instead of getting a call from the Orleans Justice Center, they're now waiting on a call from Angola Prison. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Katie Moore.
And I'm Sherry Gibson. So one of the 10 inmates involved in the jailbreak is Lenton Van Buren. In an exclusive interview, his mother spoke with Eleanor Tabone.
Lenton was shot at the age of 14.
Lenton Van Buren has a lengthy rap sheet. In 2022, he was arrested in connection to a homicide. Court records showed charges for battery on a correctional officer and sneaking contraband into jail. Van Buren was set to have a mental competency hearing on May 29th related to the homicide charges, according to...
It's like, how can y'all break out the jail? I'm still shocked about it because I just don't believe it.
Natasha, Lenton's mother, says her son never communicated with her once he got out of the Orleans Parish Justice Centre people for allegedly helping him.
It's very overwhelming. I didn't think I'd ever be on the news for my son. You know, of course, I don't condone him, breaking out of jail, but at the end of the day, he's still my child.
Natasha says Tuesday was the first time she heard her son's voice since the jailbreak.
Oh, he was jolly. He was happy. He was like, Ma, yeah, it's better than New Orleans jail. He was like, they feed us good. We get hot food over here. He was like, we all together. We all on the tier.
Now, sitting on her couch and Lenton behind bars, his mother cried. Tears, she says, that stem from guilt.
Because I see a difference now. It took me some time to realize how important healthy environments for children. He's my child, regardless of what the situation is. I'm all he has, so I have to be there for him, no matter what the situation is.
Eleanor Tabone, WWL, Louisiana.
That's crazy. That's real crazy. That's real crazy. Like, but love, what you gotta
So,
say about this?
I mean, that's the mother. A mother's always going to come out and defend their children regardless. And just like she said, she feels kind of guilty because, you have to raise them right in order for them not to end up in this situation. But she looks like a single mom. She tried her best and she's just sad. But it seems like all the men are saying the same thing, that the prison that they escaped from is corrupt. Just like he's happy to be somewhere else where he's getting fed hot meals and things like that. Little things like that tells you that they weren't getting treated right where they were, so they had to get out. So maybe this will shine a light on that prison and the people who work there. Because it's got to be somebody working on the inside apart from the people that they've caught. Because nobody was watching the jail. Nobody was watching them for over 2 hours when they broke out. Like, where were the officers? So it's something more to it.
Well, like I said earlier, right? Um, in those prisons, um, especially in Louisiana prisons, where I watched the story that they did on NBC, where they showed the mistreatment in the prison, um, how a couple of people in there was, how you say, basically was, I would say personally, was vindicated of being wrongfully convicted. So when you're wrongfully convicted of a crime, and then they're giving you egregious numbers like 100 and some years, and then you're hearing about what's going on in Angola prison, which is the most infamous prison in Louisiana. Angola prison is a very dangerous prison, but it's also a very infamous prison. So a lot of the men that was in Angola prison, salute, um, they was complaining about the mistreatment in there. They was complaining about that they was wrongfully convicted of crimes they did not do. So, and this is what they do in the state of Louisiana. It's very racist, very prejudiced. Uh, they're not fair to the people there. And when you look at how many people is incarcerated in there, like I said, all you got to do is watch the program that Dateline did a couple years ago, where these people was wrongfully convicted. It was a man that was in prison since 75 for a murder he did not even commit. His DNA was never on the scene. But because it was a white woman and she lost her life and it was a black man, they try to blame this man for something he didn't even commit, the crime he didn't even commit. So he's away from his family. Um, he got old in prison. He came out an old man. He went in a young man and came out an old man. So this is what they do. This is what happens. Like I said, the documentary Time speaks about that. So I think this case here has a lot to do with the corruption. It has a lot to do with the politics in the prison. It has a lot to do with these private prisons and how they opening so much prisons, but they're not opening a lot of schools or any opportunities for these people. So they're going back and forth to jail. So I really do believe that this guy, I believe that the guy he may be on to something. If he's saying that the woman that said he did something to her did not press charges on him, and he was sitting on up in there for something he did not do, and when they escaped, he just left. I just think they did that on purpose. I think they did that on purpose for them to escape out the prison just to see who's going to do it. Because, like I said, the others that escape out the prison, they caught them. They caught every last one of them. They caught the last two in Texas. The last one they caught in Texas in a bus stop, and they caught a couple the other two in Texas. Both of them they caught in Texas, and then the rest of them they caught in Louisiana. So a lot of them guys didn't have nowhere to go, nowhere to leave, so they got caught. Now for these, like I said, for these two, they may have had a plan, and people helped them. You can see in the video that he's in a house somewhere talking. Who's to say he did that? He probably did that video when he first got out. Who knows? But he's now on the run, and they got a bounty. It's not only just the U.S. Marshals, but it's bounty hunters looking for them. It's the feds. It's a whole lot of people looking for them. So this is a real serious case. I hope he gets help, but I hardly doubt he may get help. But this may put attention on the prisons in Louisiana and New Orleans, that is some sort of corruption in their prisons that is making people escape out of the prisons, that the people that's probably doing things to their food, probably brutality. It's a whole lot of stuff that may be going on in the prison. So that's what I really think. Um, and just the whole case of, like I said, the guy Derrick Groves, his grandmother died off the hands of street dudes and the police. A crooked cop killed his grandmother with the help of the Hardy Boys, which the Hardy Boys did the murder. The dude did the murder, but it was ordered by a man in law enforcement. So I don't know. It may end in a bloody. It may end in a, like the old lady said. The lady said in the video, I pray that they don't hurt him. But who's to say he wants to go back? He may not want to go back. It may be a Richard Matt situation where he may get killed. So it may not be that. I think the Massey dude, you know, I don't know if he has proof and he has paperwork and he has a paper trail. It probably could work in his favor, but who's to say it may not? It may not, because, like I said, Louisiana is very corrupt, so it may not even work in his favor. He may be in for a long fight, you know. But this dude Groves, they say he's been escaping out of prison. And this is not his first time. They said escaping. This is like his couple times he's done escaped out of prison, and he's in there for a serious crime, murder. So he may not want to go back in. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
We got more footage, love.
You wanted more footage?
Yeah. Play some more footage. But I really think this case is it's just a sad case, sad situation though. Like, just looking at the whole thing and seeing what both young men going through, I just think that you got somebody that grandmother was in the news.
The footage is the same thing. It's like the news is playing the same thing.
Oh, okay. Oh,
The news is playing the same thing.
oh, I never knew. Yeah, I never knew. Hold on, I got something. I never knew that. That's crazy. Hold on. Yeah, I never knew he escaped town. That's crazy. Um, yeah, I want to give that's crazy. Love, check your text message. That's crazy. But I definitely want to give a big shout out to that's what we're gonna be playing. He did a great piece. I like the piece that he did on this story. So give a big shout out to 504 Street Stories, Gangster News Network. He broke this whole situation down with Derrick Groves and basically, the Len Davis thing. So people can get the context. But for Massey escaped 4 times out of prison, that's crazy. That's crazy. So he's known in the prison system to escape. Because if he escaped 4, that's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, crazy. That's real crazy. Let me give the disclaimer.
The following documentary contains allegations in investigative journalism based on publicly available information. All claims that involve illegal activity are alleged, and viewers are advised to form their own opinions.
Yeah. Let's go. You can play it now.
Killed in front of her home in October of 1994.
Former police officer Len Davis ordered a hitman to kill a New Orleans mother.
He said Derrick came across to her as a normal kid, despite his grandmother being killed by a hitman on the orders of New Orleans police officer Len Davis.
27-year-old Derrick Groves is one of the 5 escaped inmates, and he's still at large tonight. It is forcing witnesses into hiding. Ironically, he has a deep connection to one of the most notorious killings in New Orleans history. His grandmother was executed on order of corrupt cop Len Davis.
And also, the day I was being sworn in, a young lady was killed on the order of a police officer. Kim Groves was killed the day I was sworn in.
All right, let me take y'all back to the real trenches of the NO, the belly of the beast, early 90s, before the spotlight, before the courtrooms, before the feds had ears in every corner. That was Len Davis. Street name, RoboCop. But in the Desire Projects, they call him something else, the Desire Terrorist. Ain't no badge big enough to hide what that boy Len was really on. Len Davis ain't even born in the dirty South. That man came up in Chicago, born in 1964. Pops passed early, so moms packed up and dipped to the NO, hoping for better. But that Crescent City grind, it don't give no handouts. Len got thrown in the fire fast. After high school, dude was slinging candy off a truck. Straight hustle, but he stayed running into static. Caught a few battery charges on the side, so his name was already on paper before he even wore a badge. At 22, Len Davis slides into the NOPD training academy, right when crack was ripping through the city, and white flight left whole blocks empty. The force was desperate, real desperate. Standards dropped, felonies got overlooked, and the academy turned soft. It just needed warm bodies and uniforms. It ain't last long in that first run. Caught heat from something they never even specified, and they kicked that boy out. But instead of staying gone, he took a guard job watching the same damn building, then slid right back into training. Passed in 1988, certified and strapped with the NOPD shield on his chest. Don't get it twisted. From day one, Len Davis was playing the game dirty. The NOPD was already crooked, deep in the mud. Cops running side hustles, breaking off pieces of them security gigs, working strip clubs and corner stores just to survive. Starting pay, under $20K a year. That forced loyalty, forced corruption. Everybody out for self. Len posted up in the 7th District right after the academy. And even though he had that hard edge, sometimes he put on a front. Dude helped a mugging victim one time. Got a thank you letter. Another time, stopped a woman from ending it all. They gave him commendations, but he never climbed up the ladder. Nah, because behind the scenes, the complaints were stacking up, ignoring orders, ditching paperwork, foul attitude, but nobody stopped him. He kept moving. In 89, he got dropped into the 5th District. They called it the Bloody Fifth. Public housing projects like the Desire was a war zone. Dope boys ran wild, murders and shootings everywhere. In the end, NOPD, they either looked the other way or helped run the show. Then came July 1991, real turning point. Len Davis chasing down armed suspects. One of them let off a shot, shattered his windshield. Called crash. Len jumps out, grabbed one of the dudes, then boom, takes a slug to the gut. While bleeding out, he still managed to pin the suspect down until backup pulled up. Uniform soaked in red. They gave him a medal for that. Treated him like a hero. But when he came back from recovery, that shine wore off quick. Alcohol problems, partner after partner, or brutality charges. He even got into it with another cop for pulling him over, straight up threatening to beat him down. In 1992, he caught a 51-day suspension for smashing a woman in the head with his flashlight, 2 black eyes and a head gash, and all she did was yell at him during a dope arrest. At that point, Len Davis ain't even pretending no more. His cousin Lil June and Charles Boutin moved heavyweight in the city. Len Davis rode with them in uniform, armed, collecting cash to escort shipments. That boy Len told his girl flat out, "I'm sure not the police no more. They lost me a long fucking time ago. I'm in this bitch strictly simply trying to get what I can get. By 1993, dude wasn't even hiding the hustle. NOPD knew what Len Davis was on, but instead of shutting him down, they gave that boy more power, promoted him to a task force called Felony Action Squad, aka FAS. They were supposed to be taking down major players, armed robbers, dope slingers, and carjackers, but in reality, that squad was just a green light for dirty cops to run wild. Len Davis handpicked his whole crew, and they wasn't Boy Scouts. These was hitters with badges. Len ran it like a mini gang inside the department. They'd slide through the hood, unmarked cars, masked up, demanding info, breaking jaws if folks ain't taught. One time, a woman tried to report Len for beating her brother. He pulled her over 2 days later, told her straight up, "You tell on me again, I'ma make you regret it." Now here's where the line gets real blurry. And Davis was working both sides of the game. On paper, he chasing felons. In the streets, he protecting drug runs, taking side money, intimidating witnesses, robbing dealers, and keeping the work. That's why they call that boy RoboCop. Not because he was clean, because he was bulletproof. Nobody touched him. Not in turn of affairs, not the brass, not the law. But around early 1994, the feds started circling. They had been eyeing the NOPD for years, and now they were ready to strike. So they hit Len Davis where it hurt. They flipped one of his girls, a dancer named Angela, and they wired her up. Every time Len came through her crib, the walls was listening. The feds heard it all. Len bragging about stealing dope, beating suspects, helping his cousin move bricks. But they needed something big, something to bury him. So they set up a sting, planted a fake coke stash house in the city, then sat back and waited. Right on cue, Len Davis' crew showed up ready to rob it. Full uniform, flashing badges, trying to steal what they thought was real coke. That's when the feds knew they had him, but they didn't pull the trigger yet. They wanted to see what else RoboCop would do. And then came October 13, 1994, the day everything exploded. That afternoon, Kim Groves made a call to Internal Affairs. She just watched Len Davis and his squad brutally beat a young dude down in the street. Kim ain't stay silent though. She filed an official brutality complaint. Now most folks would have let that ride, but Len Davis, he was out for blood. The moment he heard Kim's name, he lost it, picked up the phone and set up the hit. "That bitch I want dead." He said it just like that, and guess what? The feds heard every word. David was on the wire. He ain't know it. The feds was listening live as he put a hit on a civilian. They sat there frozen trying to figure out if he was serious. A few hours later, October 14th, around 10:30 p.m., Kim Groves caught a bullet in the head, stepped out of her house and got dropped on the sidewalk by Paul Hardy. What does that mean? That means the feds allowed it to happen. They heard the whole play, and Davis had just ordered the murder while wearing a badge while under federal surveillance. That was the line, and once he crossed it, it was game over. But the city was shaking. Folks in the Ninth Ward, in the Desire Projects, and Central City, they knew what time it was. The whispers was real. Len finally got caught. This wasn't just a crooked cop getting pinched. This was the fall of a whole system. See, Len wasn't the only one dirty. His whole squad got pulled in. Mackie Williams, Causey, and others. Turns out, them boys was running a criminal empire inside the badge, using the department like a front. They had a network of hustles, dope, robberies, pay for protection, and street tags. If you were moving weight in New Orleans, you either paid Len or you got shut down. Now, the courtroom was where the real dirt came out. The trial started in 1996, and it was like something out of a mob movie. The prosecution had the wiretap, the hitman's confession, testimony from other officers who flipped on Len to say themselves. They painted a picture of a cop who thought he was God, who used fear, violence, and the badge to control the block. Feds played the tapes in court. You can clearly hear that boy Len Davis on the phone saying, "Kill that bitch," then laughing about it the next day, saying nothing to worry about. She gone. You could hear gasps in the room. Some jurors looking like they wanted to throw up. That's when it hit everybody. This dude wasn't no rogue cop. He was a predator with a badge, and the system let it ride for years. And Davis got convicted of federal civil rights violations for orchestrating the Kim Groves murder.
First at 5 and new at 5, it made national headlines when a New Orleans cop ordered the murder of a mother of 3 for coming forward to report police misconduct.
And in April 1996, he was sentenced to death, one of the few cops in U.S. history to land on death row for crimes committed while on duty. But that ain't where it ends, not even close. So boom, Len Davis sitting in that cold cell waiting on a needle. But the feds, they wasn't done with him. See, while the world thought Kim Groves' case was the big fish, FBI kept peeling back layers and found out Len Davis had blood on his hands way before Kim Groves. One of the coldest stories was Michael Burnett, a young man Len Davis thought was talking too much. Got picked up, beat down, and later found shot to death. Another one was Paul Jordan, a guy Len Davis supposedly jacked for money, then tried to frame for a fake crime. When Paul Jordan started talking to Internal Affairs, boom, he turned up dead too. And remember the hitman, Paul Hardy? Dude was a street soldier, but he wasn't no mastermind. He was just a weapon Len Davis pointed at whenever he needed somebody erased. Hardy later confessed to multiple murders on Davis' order, including ones that never even made the news. He said it was like clockwork. Len Davis would give him a name, location, and the order. Make it clean. Let that sink in. This was a death squad run by a cop, hiding behind the badge. By the time 1998 hit, Len Davis was one of the most infamous officers in U.S. history. National media started calling New Orleans the most corrupt police department in America, and they was in line. The Department of Justice launched a full investigation into the NOPD, and what they found was sick, extortion, cover-ups, falsified reports, drug deals on duty, all stuff Len Davis helped normalize. But what did the city do? They tried to clean house. They started firing officers, setting up reform, bringing in outside oversight. But trust, that was gone. People in the hood ain't feel safe no more. Not from criminals, but from the ones wearing the blue. Meanwhile, Davis, he stayed behind bars. No remorse, no apologies, not even in court. He ain't never showed no emotion for Kim Groves, her mama, not even his own family. It said that eyes cold like he still thought he would walk out that bitch. Now we in the final chapter, the aftermath. And Davis, inmate number 26131-034, locked down 24 hours a day, living on death row at the federal pen in Terre Haute, Indiana. No sunlight, no yard time, barely any human contact, just cold walls, iron balls, and the weight of every life he took. In 2005, Len Davis tried to fight the death sentence, saying the jury was biased and that his lawyers ain't do their job. But the appeal court wasn't trying to hear none of that shit. They upheld the sentence, said he had committed one of the most egregious abuses of public power imaginable. Even his last appeal in 2011 got shut down. The judge straight up said this man was an enrolled cop. He was a domestic terrorist wearing a badge. Fast forward a few years, and the world started to forget his name. Not Kim Groves' family though. Calling out police violence in the streets of the NO. And that's real, cause Len Davis wasn't no isolated case. He was the blueprint, the proof that giving power to the wrong person could turn the whole system into a weapon. And Davis ain't never showed no remorse, no letters, no confessions, and not even in private. As of now, he's still breathing. But that needle, it was still waiting until sleepy Joe Biden commuted his death sentence.
We're less than a month away from Donald Trump becoming president for the second time. And as President Joe Biden's term comes to an end, he's commuted the sentences of federal death row inmates. Good Monday evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Mike McDaniel. One of those inmates is from Louisiana. Back in 1996, former police officer Len Davis ordered a hitman to kill a New Orleans mother.
Every year his name was on that list, the list of people the feds say they're gonna kill by lethal injection. But you know what's wild? It's not even about when he dies. It's about how many people had to suffer before the truth came out. How a mother of three who just wanted to protect her block got smashed for speaking out. How a whole city got terrorized not by gangsters or stick-up kid, by a cop with a radio, a gun, and a hitman on speed dial. So when folks talk about corrupt cops, they better remember this man's name, Len Davis, aka RoboCop. Not a hero, not a protector, but a cold-blooded killer who wore the badge like a crown and used it like a sword. The streets still remember, and they always will.
Most important thing is
that was that right there, like I told you, that story is off the chain. Shout out to the dude 504 Gang Stories, man. I like his channel. I had to play that because like it's so interesting how like deeply connected both both them stories is. And it's crazy that Biden pardoned or commuted his sentence from death row. And the grandson later became a shooter, later became a killer. So that's a crazy situation, man. That's really a catch 22 right there. But like I said, this was great content, you know. And I don't know what is gonna happen with this case, man, because like I said, like you got both of these dudes on the run, and then you got these dudes that you really don't understand what's gonna happen, you know. And like I said, it's a catch 22 because you really look at it and you say to yourself, damn. So you telling me that one dude saying he innocent, the other dude not really speaking. We don't know what was his main reason of escaping. But the way this other dude is saying is like, listen, I ain't pull no knife, no shank out on the janitor. That's not what happened. Um, I was supposed to be free. The other dude, he was found guilty of a murder, and he ended up going on the run with Massey. So I don't know if these two is together or they done split up. But as we can see so far, I don't think they're gonna be able to catch them because they playing this shit out real well. But yeah, salute to everybody that's tuning in. Thank y'all for watching. Shout out to Chillin' with Love. Um, this was a great show. I definitely want to do more true crime episodes like this. I like doing true crimes. I don't know why I like doing it, but I just love doing true crime episodes that really speak on like the criminal stuff that's going on. I want to start doing that more. I'm gonna start bringing more people on here. Me, Chilling with Love, and quite a few other people that's into the true crime, that's in the true crime community. Because, like, if you really break down a lot of these true crime stories, it's some crazy shit. It's crazy. And in this case right here, this is true crime. This is uh, really the criminal justice system being exposed. It's just a whole lot of stuff that's involved in this. You got dude that's basically telling you that there's so much corruption going on in the prisons. It's no joke. And like I said, Lester Holt did a whole special in Angola prison. So this is not surprising to me. You know, this is not surprising that a situation like this happened. And like I said, with the other case that's going on in Arkansas, it's crazy. So, like I said, this is a great story. I want to give a big shout out to Chillin' with Love for doing this story. I definitely want to spin the block and do this again, a part two. You know, because this was an interesting story. Uh, Chillin' with Love. Can I ask you one last question before we get up out of here? Um, with this case, and I know you did a story about the cop in Arkansas. Do you think they're gonna be able to find both all three of them, or you think this is that they had an escape route and they had everything planned it out that it's gonna take them maybe a couple years or maybe like a couple months for them to find these guys? Do you think so?
I mean, you got the one guy who's going on social media, so he's basically showing where he's at. So it won't be long before they find him. So, but the sheriff, I mean, he's pretty smart. He's been gone for a minute now, and he's an older guy. I don't know. He might got somebody helping him. The other guy, I have no idea. He's gone.
I don't think like when they said he did that recording, that's why I said like that video recording, he may have done that video and he probably done left from where that was at because he may have
But
cut his hair. He may have
now people want to be famous. He's got a bug where he's calling out famous people to help him, and he might get bitten by that social media bug where everybody just wants to go on social media and talk about their issues and what's going on. So he's basically going to bring them to himself.
Yeah, I think so too. Like I said, like because these three cases go hand in hand with the sheriff in Arkansas and Ozark, Arkansas, where basically all three of them have escaped from a prison. All three of them have not been caught by the authorities, right? The other inmates that escaped with Massey and Groves, the other 8 were caught. They were captured. One was captured at a bus stop in Texas. The other one was captured in Texas. But everybody else was captured in New Orleans. You know, couple females have got arrested. Uh, the janitor got arrested. So when you really look at it, it's like these two just had a thoughtful plan out. I think people is helping both of them, Groves and Massey. I think just like with the sheriff, somebody helped him out. I think when he escaped out the prison, I believe that some colleagues or people that he know in that county that works in the prison helped them get out of there safely. So when you see certain things like that and you see prison stories like that, you can understand that it's thoughtfully planned out. Like what happened with Clinton Danamora with Sweat and Matt. They had it planned out, but they weren't able to make it to Mexico. The dude Sweat was in the woods. He almost made it to the Canadian border. But what got him caught was that he went out of the woods. His partner got killed. So, like I said, you gotta be careful. Um, so I think these guys might got vehicles. I don't think they walking on feet. The other guys, they caught them on feet. They caught the other one sleeping at a station. So it's like you don't really know. But if they do have a vehicle, they might be leaving state to state and going places to places, different places. So you never know. But I want to thank you, Chillin' for Love, for pulling up. I know you got a show that you got to go to, but I really want to appreciate you and thank you for this show. This was a great, 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 great live. And I really love doing these cross branding programs. And I want to give you definitely a big shout out for coming through to my show and me coming through to your show. And I want to say to everybody, man, y'all have a blessed night and enjoy the rest of y'all night. Happy Wednesday. Happy June, because we just got into June. And we on the countdown to my birthday. June 30th is my birthday. So we all on the countdown to Bullets Gotti Day, the 30th. I'm calling it the 30 for 30. So we're gonna do the 30 for 30 episode of all my old episodes. I'm trying to do like I might want to like put up like all of my old like episodes, like clips, like old live streams I did, piece them up together and give y'all a 30 for 30 episode. So I'm definitely gonna be doing that. And I definitely want to salute y'all. Show love. You got anything you want to say? You want to shout out your channel and anything?
Thank you for coming, guys.
I want to thank y'all. I want to definitely thank y'all for coming too. Thank y'all for supporting Chillin' with Love. Y'all know she is definitely one of the greats right now. Her channel. Oh, and please congratulate her on the 3K. Come on, she had 3K. She just made 3K. Like you just had got the 2K within like May, April, right? Love. You got the 2K with it like in April or May?
It's not a big deal.
No, I'm just saying, salute to you. Congratulations. You're gonna be at 4K probably by next week, and then 5K by like the end of the month. So you're doing extraordinary on your channel with the true crime content. Keep doing what you're doing, and salute to Chilling with Love, and salute to everybody. And I appreciate y'all, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Bullis Gotti Show 2.0, Truth to Power, Cali with Love, Rapmatic, and I got another channel on the way. I got 2 new channels on the way. I'm gonna keep y'all postponed on that, but it's gonna be crazy. We about to shake up the neck. So salute to everybody for pulling up. I appreciate y'all, man. And keep doing what y'all been doing. Support the platform, man. Support the platform. Make sure y'all support and love. You got any ending quotes, or you want me to end it out?
Thank you for coming. I appreciate y'all.
And in the words of the late great Don Cornelius, love, peace, and soul. Y'all have a blessed night.